Sharma, sir, Executive Director, Mondragon Corporation India. Mr. Rakesh, sir, HR Head, Capgemini India. Mr. Sachin, sir, Director, HR Cipla. Mr. Sushil Agarwal, sir, Managing Director, Avon Furniture. Mr. Piyush, sir, Assistant Vice President, HR Digivalet. Ms. Garima Pandey, Senior HR Professional, Rehlat. The Galaxia interactions, my fellow colleagues, and feeling of today, our students, I shake our rally from congratulations, extend a very pleasant goodbye to this August audience present here. Love Devi Sarvabhutesh, Vishwamari Shabdika, Namaste, 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 Namo Namaha. To invoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati, may I humbly request our guests and dignitaries to please like the traditional back. While the heart is being elected, I saw the first movement sources for the Hamna. Thank you. This goddess, who in all things exists as the very form of God, we go to you, we go to you, we go to you again and again. Moving further, I hereby invite Dr. Simranjeet Kaur Sindhan to introduce our guest. Thank you, Rita. A very pleasant good morning to the august gathering present here. I, on behalf of IIST Group of Institutions, once again welcome all the dignitaries. It's a pleasure for me to be a part of such a wonderful event where industry and academia both together will pave the way for new arenas of knowledge, for new vision. I'm very thankful to our chairman, Sir Shri Sushil Agarwal and respected DD Sir for putting me to this task, through which I can closely know these industry stalwarts in a much better way. Thank you so much, sir. HR wear many hats. We are data analysts, consultants, technologists, and change leaders. Without may not be able to function as a value-adding resource that drives business success. We have with us craftsmen who start the journey of an organization, scaling it to the triumph. Successful leaders display a thirst of understanding the benefits of new research outcomes and stay connected to current trends in their respective fields. This HR conclave will help us measuring the gap between the shifts that students of today need to make, which industry is looking for. The subsequent deliberations will help the student and the faculty to understand the required skill set to make them industry ready. Moreover, this will also help the corporate leaders, HR professionals and practitioners to envision responsibility shifts towards a continuously learning culture. It's an honor for us today to host such brilliant corporate leaders who have been an integral part of the success stories, of the success journeys of their organization. Let us have an insight of the profiles of the speakers of session 1. It's an honor for me to introduce a person who is a leader and who leads by example. The keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Vivek Singh. He is the general partner, Your Nest VC Fund and chairman of Caec Technology Limited. Dr. Singh is a highly accomplished leader with an excellent blend of business, technical and leadership skills. He has a proven track record of turning around, building and scaling organizations. He has an experience of working at large, be it HP, Dell, Cisco, Fujitsu, and also the startup companies like Avon, Ishoni Networks, Portal Software, to name the few. He has a global experience of working at US, Japan, China, Singapore and Taiwan and played varied roles with impactful results. Talking about his academics, Dr. Singh did his Executive Business Management program from Stanford University, California. He is PhD in Engineering Design Software from Queen's University, Canada. Sir is a gold medalist in Bachelor of Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Allahabad. The accolades still continues. He holds 6 US patents, contributed to 2 books and wrote 100+ technical papers. I feel much honored to state that he is also a recipient of Innovative Leadership Chanakya Award for the National Achievers in 2013. He is listed as Honored Professional. I was expecting that only. He is listed as Honored Professional in National Who's Who for the United States in the year 2000. He has given several keynotes on cloud computing, IoT, leadership and innovation across the world. He is a global leader who has delivered unparalleled results. We welcome you, sir. people building a spectacular architecture requires a strong foundation. A strong foundation is never seen, but it is on the foundation that the structure stands tall and proud. We have amongst us Mr. Ashutosh Sharma, Executive Director, Mondragon Corporation, India, who has been associated with this organization for 20 years. Mondragon Corporation is one of the largest business group of Spain with a turnover of over 14 billion euros. Mr. Sharma, along with his team, represents Mondragon Corporate in India. Prior to this, he was the Chief Manager Marketing at Western India Securities Limited. Joined the company as Marketing Manager and in 2 years was designated as Chief Manager Marketing, which was equivalent to the post of a General Manager. His other assignments were, he was Resident Manager India at Electrodomésticos Solar SA of Spain and Resident Manager India at Fagor Electrodomésticos SQ of Spain. He completed his academics from Kurukshetra University. He has 23 years of experience, mostly in the area of consumer durables, with exposure to all facets of management. We welcome you, sir. Can I have a good round of applause? There are people who, by their agile mind and vision, add value to the work they do. And one such person is Dr. Mukesh Vyas, Corporate Head HR at Pratibha Syntex Limited. Dr. Vyas pursues a challenging career. He is a key member of management team in influencing the vision and strategic direction of the company. He works closely with top management to build HR system and processes, to have strong foundation for meeting planned production and growth targets. Prior to the current assignment, he was associated with Rehlat as an Associate Vice President, where he was responsible for strategic HR intervention, including recruitment, manpower management, employee engagement, and industrial relations. Apart from this, he was also associated with many of the big leaders like Mylan Laboratories as General Manager Human Resource, Mahindra & Mahindra as Deputy Manager and Industrial Relations, and many more during his career. Dr. Vyas has done MSW and LLB and has attained his PhD from Pacific University, Udaipur. He specializes in human resources, union negotiation, and salary arbitration. We are privileged to have you with us, sir. A person young at heart and mind, full of creative ideas, and ready to accept any challenge. We have Mr. M.S. Rakesh, Head HR at Capgemini Technology Services India Limited. Mr. M.S. Rakesh is having more than 9 years of experience. He is handling leading HR functions such as HR operations in business, HR partner for campus freshers batch management. He has strong research capability and knowledge of internet-based and data-oriented search tools with a focus to add value to client engagements. Out of his own interest, he is actively engaged in delivering expert sessions on corporate HR at various educational institutions. Being very creative, he has a unique perspective in approaching an issue due to his varied area interests. He tries to bring the best out of the people. We welcome you, sir. With this, I thank Ms. Shweta also for letting me share the limelight as well. Now I request the Masters of Ceremony to please take over.
Thank you. To cherish the memory of guests, the Singh of a college would request our Honorable Chairman, sir, to please welcome Dr. Vivek, sir. A huge round of applause, please. sir, to please welcome Mr. Ashutosh Sharma, sir. Dr. V.R. Raghuveer sir to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Mukesh Vyas sir. I once again request Dr. V.R. Raghuveer sir to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Sushil Agarwal sir. Invite Dr. Mayan Saxena sir to extend a delightful welcome to Mr. M.S. Rakesh sir. Thank you, sir. As it is rightly said, opportunities don't happen, you create them. The evaluation and change in technology and the dynamic corporate world have created a vacuum and need to educate the young heads. This has led IIST Indore to take an initiative for HR Conclave 2019 by inviting visionaries and heads of various renowned industries across India to connect directly with the students on a single platform to know the dire need of industry and accordingly to upgrade themselves with the potentials to face the upcoming challenges in the corporate world. Traditional job profiles and responsibilities are continuously being challenged in today's volatile job market. Novel job designs such as freelancing, gigs, and automation are transforming the fundamental nature of work. Digitization, Internet of Things, robotics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, social media, and augmented reality are transforming traditional processes of production, distribution, consumption, and innovation. This has triggered a new wave of the industrial revolution. The theme of this HR Meet 2019 is Workforce Readiness with reference to 21st century skills, a success mantra. This HR Meet aims to bring together two important stakeholders, namely industry and academia, together to understand how the job markets are going to change radically in the near future and how the important stakeholders must collaborate to brace themselves for the change. We are privileged to have among us our Chairman, Sushil Agarwal sir. Before inviting sir to address you all, we would like to share a brief about him. Sir is an MBA from Caec University, UK, and alumnus of University of Delhi. Right from very early stage, he took over the reign of family business and expanded the arena to different fields. His passion is to impart quality education to all the three levels, that is primary, secondary, and higher. He is an entrepreneur of extreme excellence with diversified business knowledge, and he is also heading educational vertical in northern and central region of India. He is deeply committed in his vision, that is to create an environment of learning and to make all three institutions excellence at par. Without taking much of your time, may I have to request our chairman sir to give the welcome address. Sir, please.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I think, is a very memorable day in the entire campus to have such industry stalwarts, HR leaders, and HR delegates present under one roof. So on behalf of the entire faculty, staff and management, I extend my heartfelt greetings to all the people present here who have taken time out of their busy schedules to come and let us know about the HR outreach ready for the 21st century. The world is evolving, and I think it's evolving very fast. With the latest technologies and digitalization happening, it's very important for us to know how the HR workforce can incorporate all those things into their daily profiles. So with their experience of so many years, I'm sure that we'll be able to learn a lot more things through their keynotes. Also, we should understand that the workforce to be ready for the 21st century has not only to be professionally ready, but it also has to look forward for its responsibilities towards the environment and the society as well. As the world is changing so fast, our responsibility towards the environment and the society also needs to be addressed. Without that, I don't think so any professional is able to survive in the coming future. The industry is looking forward not only for the professionals who are ready in the technology area, but also how well they are connected to their colleagues as well. We should also understand the combination of technology and digitalization to incorporate with HR. So I'm sure with the speakers having us and the keynote that will deliver us will surely let us know the insights of this industry. I welcome you again and thank you.
May I humbly request our Director General, sir, please address you all upon the please.
Our beloved Chairman, Shri Agarwal ji, Chief Guest and Keynote Speakers, Mr. Dr. Vivek Singh, my dear friend, and other dignitaries, various HR professionals, faculty, and my dear students. In IIST, IMR and IP, we have one simple objective: enhancing employability quotient with holistic development. In accordance with that, we have arranged this HR so that with the changing circumstances, both our faculty and our students make themselves ready for the industry and for the market. The word of work for action is being transformed at a metric pace. It is historic, it is disruptive, it is fast-paced, and we are still a few way away from discovering what the end product will look like. Change has come rapidly in many forms. In globalization of business, in technology, in organizational structure and business model, in people, demographically, and most importantly in the way they perceive work and want to work. In simple words, we live in a world of crisis. World in crisis, a knowledgeable society, and in an era in which time is fluid. Nothing lasts. Everything changes and is unstable. Knowledge society like ours invests in education and training of people in order to build up the sources of human capital which enable them to fulfill expectation, to perpetuate traditions, and more important, use the technology to develop innovations. The major challenge facing a knowledge society is the generation of collective intelligence. Society's intelligence as a whole is more important than just having society composed of multiple individual intelligence. Bergman in 1998 described life in today's society as a novice culture and a hurried culture. Because we place more importance on brand new high impact things than those which require exploration. According to Bowman, we have gone from linear time to pointedly stand. What matters is the movement, and our identities are continually being built and modified. In today's world, the capacity and lifelong willingness to face new things and modify learned expectation is critical. There can be no learning without relearning. The revision that must be undertaken when we realize the weakness of what we thought we knew. The knowledge society emphasizes the need to be creative in an environment of particular uncertainty. Therefore, in the modern world, we must move away from sporadic education and towards lifelong learning. Today's education must lead to empowerment through education. The main purpose of education is empowerment. Our empowerment should be not a limited identity but a cosmic identity. We should change the nature of the education. Individuals should acquire the capacity to make decisions and act effectively in accordance with those decisions. And this in turn entails the ability to influence the rules of play. Thus, education consists in developing not only personal but also social qualities. It is a development of social consciousness, awareness of how society works, knowledge of how it is structured, and a sense of the personal agency which allows action. Einstein once said that no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Current needs suggest that we must learn to view the world and therefore education in a new way. As education has in past demonstrated its crucial role in introducing change and progress in society, and it is today considered a key agent in education new generation to build the future. Our young graduates must occupy their rightful place in the boardroom. They must be well equipped with the ways and means to be catalyzer towards the change. I am sure that since we are having HR visionaries of today's world and to guide us, and they will tell you the strategy to empower the so that you will become catalyzer of the change. Seeing this, IIST and IMR and IP has taken a step to form an association and connection with HR from industry who would be the torch bearer for our students. With deep reverence, I welcome all the dignitaries to IIST, IMR and IP, and I am confident that this conclave would be enriching for everyone present here today. So, as Vivek said, Uttishtat Jagrat Prape Varani Bodhat. So all of you, as I am always saying, that in ancient text, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the creator of your own positive thoughts and positive attitudes. I expect and I hope that my dear students will be enriched after hearing so many visionaries from the industry and the market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Our session is divided into two parts, wherein students will be receiving different views for the upliftment of their future. To begin with, may I take the honor to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Vivek Singh, sir, to enrich the audience with his thoughts and wisdom. Sir, please.
अभी स्क्रीन है क्या? अभी पीपीटी है क्या?
नहीं, अब स्क्रीन हटा लेना है इससे। हाँ? क्या?
Good morning. Pleasure to be here. Thanks to my close friend Sri Arun Bhatnagar for pulling me in. He was very persistent with his request that I come here. This is probably third or fourth time. And finally I made it. It's a pleasure to be with the students as always, and it's a pleasure to be with such dignified colleagues here who will be speaking about HR. My presentation is up there. I believe this is being also relayed to some other room, right? There are 200 people sitting there. Welcome to those people as well. Majority of the people here looks like students. So the first talk that I am giving this morning is actually for students. I have had a very long career of mine. Yeah, the other presentation, please. And unfortunately, you will all not be able to see the presentation, which is not fun actually. There's so many seats. I do not know if that is easily possible because the projector is here. But what? Is it possible to put it here?
Yes.
Yeah, because it is very, very sad that they will. So give us couple of minutes.
ऑफ कर दे,
हाँ बंद कर दे,
बंद कर ये कहाँ है? हाँ दे दीजिएगा सर, मैं कर दूँ। आगे आपके पास नहीं आया, नहीं अभी आया। यस प्लीज़, मैं करता हूँ सर, 2 मिनट। वो उधर टेबल, अरे वो टेबल है पीछे। अभी टी का सेशन करना चाहिए ना यार। प्रेजेंटेशन में कवर कर दीजिएगा जो बोल रहे हैं, उनको कवर नहीं
प्रेजेंटेशन। मेरी शेड्यूल में ही नहीं था।
अरे उसको चालू नहीं किया इसने।
चेयर उधर से लेके आते हैं।
2 मिनट ये अपने लिए
बैठ जाओ और क्या कोई नहीं एक काम करें, मेरी चेयर उधर साइड में।
मेरे डिस्प्ले आया ना, अभी बात इनको हटा लेंगे। अरे नवीन को बुलाओ यार, नवीन को बुला के लाओ इधर। जल्दी बोलना कि वो प्रेजेंटर की कोई यहाँ प्रेजेंटर लेके गया। नवीन सर को बोला प्रेजेंटर चाहिए, प्रेजेंटर उनके हाथ में, फटाफट।
HR कॉन्क्लेव लगा दिया है। जब वो बोले ना तो PPT पे बस डाल देना, बीच में थोड़ी देर ले लेना। लाइव में ये नहीं दिखा रहा है अभी, वो थोड़ा सा उस तरफ कर उसको। हाँ राइट। ठीक है
यार, 2 लोग चाहिए बस यहाँ। चेहरे हटवाओ यहाँ। हाँ ये यार एक चेयर हटा। अरे उसका कवर लगाना, कवर। तेरी वाली चेक पीछे कौन सी जाती लगा सब
चढ़ने करने में वो इम्बैलेंस हो जाता
क्या करना है
सर
हाँ
सर ये लगा दिया बैनर।
अच्छा
यार यहाँ पे चेयर कम करो, मेरे को 2 ही चेयर चाहिए। ये वाली चेयर हटा, वो छोटी वाली ला। हाँ मैडम, अभी तो
इधर ही आ गया और चढ़ने में पहली सीढ़ी है हमारी
वाइट लाइट बंद करो,
वाइट वाली बंद करो, वाइट वाली। अरे केबल देख नीचे, केबल देख
चालू है वाइट वाली देख।
अरे नाइक सर उधर सर चालू करो।
आप लाइट तो बंद कर, बस चले जाओ। 2 मिनट
पर एक कुछ बताओ।
1 मिनट
यार यहाँ से आना तो भीड़ है।
अरे इसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है। अरे क्यों फोन कर रहा है पागल? वो नाइक उधर पर चला जाएगा।
नहीं ये वाले चल रहा है,
ये बंद करवा रहे हैं
वो बंद
किसी की सुनने की जरूरत नहीं, मेरे को पता है। प्रोजेक्ट टाइम नहीं होगा 2 मिनट बाजी मत उठाए बैठो यार। अब यहाँ पे उनको 2 ही चेयर चाहिए और कोई चेयर नहीं चाहिए, 2 ही आप बैठो। और ये गेट कर देते हैं सर, 1-2 मिनट लगेगा। नहीं, ओनली 1 मिनट। जी सर, 2 मिनट। ये गेट बंद करो।
हो गया
इधर का लाइव इधर दिखा स्क्रीन
मैं 2 मिनट
जो बच्चे रिवर्स करना।
हाँ 2 मिनट 2 मिनट नवीन 2 मिनट अपने को स्क्रीन दिखानी होगा।
दिखाओ फोटो का बटन हल्का सा क्लिक।
अरे अभी 2 मिनट
मेन काम है वो
2 मिनट। हाँ नवीन, कंप्यूटर पे लेके कंप्यूटर पे
कोई बात नहीं, अभी डाल देना, ये हो जाएगा।
उसको उधर बोलना पड़ेगा, बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। 2 मिनट है उसमें ना, पहले तो वहाँ पे करना पड़ेगा। तू कर पाएगा आप ये इस पर क्लिक करना, HTML पे आएगा और बीच में एंटर दबाना पड़ेगा। 2 मिनट अभी नहीं ला दे। 2 मिनट देना सर। अरे ये दोनों चीज़ दिखानी है।
बस यहीं से हो जाएगा यहीं से हो जाएगा।
कर दूँ स्टार्ट अंदर उसको
करना है
नीचे HTML। हाँ एंटर।
वीडियो पे खड़े मत
2 मिनट ये गेट लॉक कर दो सर।
Okay, welcome back again. Sorry for all the reorganization, Arun bhai. but I think this will be worth it. I've given 4 days to this effort. I want to benefit from it. So as I said, the first presentation is largely for students, although anyone can benefit from that at any age. But it's largely targeted towards students. I have been very lucky in my professional career. I have worked with some of the greatest people that you read about. The 5 people who have shaped me. And I'm sharing this because it is important for you to understand. Actually, I can speak like this also, yes. I want you to get the context of why I'm making a certain comment. You will be able to respect it much more if you know what my background has been and what I have been able to contribute. I must say that I come from a very small city in UP called Fatehpur, which most of you do not know. I'm a product of Government Intermediate College, Hindi medium school. So if I can do it, any of you can. Probably all of you are coming from a better background from education perspective than me. With that context, let me go to the next slide, and I just want to share a couple of things. I have been very fortunate to work with the people like you see in the left-hand side. The left-hand side is David Packard and Bill Hewlett from Hewlett Packard. That was my first job. I worked with them in a number of situations. On the right, you see Michael Dell of Dell. I worked with Michael, I'm still in touch with him. At the bottom, you see John Chambers, the head of Cisco, who just retired 2 years back, pretty much the time I retired. And in his book, he has endorsed his views about me and things like that. Can we go to the next slide? And who can forget the greatest, Steve Jobs? I worked with Steve Jobs. And here Steve has written, to Vivek and Singh. The comment at the bottom says, to Vivek and team, thanks so much for your help. We couldn't have done without you. Thank you, Steve Jobs. And I have had the opportunity to work with numerous people, both in America and India, that you read about, whether it's Renji or Mr. Murthy, or it is just about anyone you probably know. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, some of my achievements have been talked about earlier. I'm not talking about my achievements, I'm talking about what you can do if you want to make it happen. That is the more important message, not what I did. So the patents you see on the left hand side, these are 6 patents of mine, they are US patents. On the right hand side, you see an instrument that I developed 2 years out of my college. I made an invention, filed a patent, developed this instrument and licensed it to a company in Boston which sold it worldwide. And for 17 years, it was a leading product in its category, sold all over the world. At the bottom left, you see the 2 books I have contributed to. At the middle, you see I was given award of IT Man of the Year 2016 in Dubai by this American society. And the reason I was given, because when they announced that I have won the award, I talked to them and I said, why are you giving it to me? I can tell you 10 other people who deserve it more than I do. And they said, no sir, we have selected you because you are the only one who has contributed to social change through technology. And there are 2 initiatives. I'm from part of a non-profit which works on this. One is the initiative called IPayTheBride.com. You can go and see it. Anybody who pays a bride can go and report it there. You can't go to police because you have committed a crime as well. But you can go and report on that site, and you can see on that site every city's bride data that is available. You can see in Calcutta how much is bride, you can see in Delhi how much is bride, and all of that reported by crowdsourcing of people. That is one initiative. And second initiative is I changed my city. The reason India's cities and India is where it is because citizens don't consider India as their country. They behave as if this is a hotel. They will go away. They don't behave. So citizenship engagement has to go to the next level if we want to improve our country. And that is what it does. The second product that I talked about, I Changed My City, you can read about it. And because of those two initiatives, which have had a major impact, iPaidAbright.com was shown to Obama when he visited India, and he said, even America needs it. 22 to 25 countries, I think, in the world have iPaidAbright.com equivalent in their thing. So it's very successful programs, and that is why I was awarded IT Man of the Year. And on the right hand side, you see who's who in the United States in 2000. Why I'm mentioning all this is not what I did, is because each one of you have potential to do this and more. That is the message you should derive from this. I'm happy to answer questions later on. Can we go next? Okay. So now for a student, and actually I have two children your age. Elder one is working at Amazon in Seattle. He went to Berkeley and University of Michigan for MBA. So many of you are probably targeting that. Younger one went to Babson College and is finishing his MBA at Duke University and so on. So I can relate to your questions probably better than many. What do I tell them is exactly what I tell you. No difference. And I've mentored literally hundreds and thousands of people. So number one thing is have goals, right? Gandhi said, better than anyone else can say, that world steps aside to the person who knows where he or she is going. Beautiful. World steps aside to the person who knows where he or she is going. Problem is, do you know where you are? 99% people do not. 99% of the people are opportunity driven. They are not goal driven. Opportunity driven means you get an opportunity, you take it. When you graduate, you will say, which job gives me more payment or no salary, I'll take it. That may not be the right path actually. If you look at the path of successful people in the world, they are goal driven. And if you look at the path of people who are average or above average, they are opportunity driven. And people below are literally not counted. So do not be opportunity driven. Know what you want. It can change any time in your life, but it has to be that you should know what you want. Now the question is, I deal with this all the time. The students say, well, how do I know what I want? And that is where the game of mentoring begins, and I talk about it towards the end. But most important, know what you want from life. I'm talking about life goal, not talking about the goal of getting the next job. And Gandhi said it better than anyone else. World will create room for you if you know really what you want to achieve. And I talk about it more later. Next slide, please. Have written goals, right? I can bet you if I ask the students to raise hand, and I don't want to embarrass you, if I ask any of you have written your goals. Anyone? Raise hand if you have. See, maybe one and maybe half hand, I do not know what that means. Yes, written or no written, but it is 3 or 4 people, 1 full hand I see. People do not write goals. Why? 1, they think they know what it is, and 2, they are afraid. They are afraid to write because then you are making a commitment. But the data has shown people have 80% higher probability of achieving their goal if they write it. They even have higher probability of achieving the goal if they make it public. I want to do this. I want to do this in. Make it public. Why are you afraid? You fail. So what? So what? That's what is scaring you, right? So I tell you, at Yale University in America, they did a research. The MBA students of Yale University 25-50 years back were asked, like in a gathering like this, and they asked them, how many of you have written goals? And maybe little more hands than what I saw here were raised, which is about 10%, less than 10%. They followed that for 25 years. These people from that batch of MBA, same education, same class. After 25 years, they found that the 8% or less than 10% people who had raised hands, who had said that I have a written goal, their net worth Net worth means the money they had earned and the position they have earned was more than 90% of the class. That is the power of writing your goal. Nothing else, everything is same class they are graduating. Just writing your goal and say this is what I want to do. You can change it anytime. That is not the problem. The problem is committing to something in life. And I think Indians are not good at that. Even Americans have given so many talks. You see, raise hands, maybe 10-15% people do. But don't be afraid, commit. Short and long term goal. Of course, short term goal of yours is to actually have a job. Graduate, get good position, good percentage and get a job. Nothing wrong with that. But long term, where do you want to go? What actually do you want to go? Because it is very important for you to commit. And I tell you why it is important to commit. Unless you commit, you will not be able to create excellence in that particular area that you want to follow up. And without excellence, success beyond a certain level cannot be achieved. Anyone you know out of your friends and family is because they have achieved certain level of excellence. Whether it is Lata Mangeshkar, Amitabh Bachchan, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, whoever. Excellence requires commitment. Excellence requires long hours and long hard work. And without committing, you will not do that. So you average, and world doesn't care for average. Right? It's very important. Let's go next. Now, this is very, very important for students. As I said, this talk is about students, but this is relevant to everyone. Develop specialized knowledge to do your job well. Sorry? I don't have phone. Can you? Yeah. Okay. So, specialized knowledge to do your job well. Unless you decide what you want to do in the long run, what skill will you develop? It's very important that you actually start thinking about it. You don't have to commit tomorrow, but you need to. You should be seen as a competent person. That if I tell this person, this will be done. Let me tell you, in Cisco we have 12,000 people working. I was heading that. In Dell, there are about 45,000 people work. I was heading that. Not more than 10% people are seen as competent. Competent means if I give this person will get it done. If he doesn't know or she doesn't know, they'll figure it out and get it done. You need to be seen as competent person. Your percentage, rank in class, all that will go to the next step, and after that, it's a level playing field. You need to be seen as competent person. You need to develop specialized knowledge, and it's very difficult to develop specialized knowledge. The codified knowledge is doubling every year. Every year the knowledge base is doubling. What to read, how to read, and go in depth is very important, and you can only commit if you know where you are going. What exactly do you want? That is very important. So read, right? I'm a big, how many of you read books outside your course material? Okay, so about 10, 12%, 15% people. I'm not talking about novels, I'm not talking about Bollywood movie stories, I'm talking about real books written by real people on real subjects. Right, now raise hands. So half, right? Half of the earlier number is really, it is absolutely critical that you read, right? Generally I tell people read a book a month, if not a week. And if you look at people who have done well, you will find they find time. So read. Next slide. Develop a strong character, which Bhatnagaji earlier said in his presentation. Strong character is very important for success, by and large. Some wrong examples are there in every country who have succeeded through wrong means or wrong way. Let's not be influenced by them. 90% of the people, or maybe 95% of the people have succeeded the right way. You think somebody helped Rahul Dravid? Rahul is a very close friend. He lives next door to me, right? I have had extensive discussions with him. Prakash Padukone, you probably have heard name of him, right? You probably know his daughter's name more than him now, but Prakash is a very good close friend and so on. Do you think anybody helped him? Do you think somebody called and said, let him win All England Badminton Championship? 90%, 95% of the people have worked the right way and build a strong character to succeed. So don't take examples of the other 5%. I can give some examples, but I don't want to. Don't follow that. 95% succeed the right way by right things. So don't get into this habit of always looking at the 5% and say, "Acha aadmi ko succeed nahi hota hai." Nonsense. Okay? Honesty and integrity is absolutely important. We know how to promote, we know who to promote, we know who is a long-term potential, and it is all I can, after talking to you for a while, seeing you in work, I can tell you this is a winning horse and this is not. So very important that you build the right character, and we are only talking about honesty and integrity. We are not talking about you go to temple and do puja and all that, nothing. Just be honest and have high integrity. Accountability in India is lacking. Seriously lacking. People will give excuse for every single thing. None of these people succeed in the long term. Ultimately, you are making excuse with yourself. That path will not take you far. Teamwork, very important. Indian children are from their childhood are asked to compete. What is your position in class? Did you come first or not? Or that your neighbor's son got 82%, you got 79%. So all your mindset is about, I have to compete, I have to compete, I have to compete. Yet when you join a Dell or a Cisco, immediately you are asked to work in a team. And people want to have that extra credit to themselves to be able to compete. We know it. Do not worry about it. You don't have to show it. You are trying to show to whom? To management. That you did this extra bit. We know. Don't worry about it. We want you to do teamwork. And this is an important. So my suggestion to the college is that while you encourage individual excellence, and I am a big believer in that, nothing wrong in that, but also encourage the teamwork. These people need to know how to actually contribute together. Very, very important. Problem solving is important. Communication skill is absolutely, absolutely important. I cannot tell you how many people can't even write one paragraph in English properly. So I request these college to have something serious about communication, written communication, oral communication, debates or talks or whatever you can do to encourage better communication is absolutely required. Next please. And aptitude, right? We hire for aptitude. We don't hire for skill actually. How do we judge aptitude in such a short time? By going in the past of the student. We don't know. You can say whatever you want in a very short time. But actually the past history of the person tells me if the attitude is right or wrong. Right? The biggest problem is the people who complain about everything. इंडिया में ये नहीं है, इंडिया में वो नहीं है, मेरिटोक्रेसी नहीं है, हमारा मैनेजर खराब है, हमारा all nonsense. Actually stay. What are you doing about it is what I want to know. So attitude is important. You have to be an optimist. In spite of all the things, let me tell you that the world you are going to live in is going to be far better than the world I lived in. And the world your children are going to live in will be far better than you live in. In spite of all negatives that you see, it's all bogus. Right? I'll give you 2-3 examples. Just I'm digressing for a minute or two, but I want to give you examples. In the next 10 to 20 years, I was telling this to some other people. You will get a WhatsApp message in your phone that tomorrow at 9:30 you will get a heart attack. Go and admit yourself at a hospital at 9 o'clock. Is that good? Right? Energy will become free, or almost free. Water, for which the Third World War was going to be fought, will become free because desalination becomes possible. We have to the, all the water around the world is available there. So many things I can tell you. I don't want to digress for too long. The world is nice. Be optimistic. Do not get into this rat hole of that things are not going well and this is happening and that is happening. No, all the successful people are very optimistic. So be optimistic. Confidence will come from the knowledge and your depth of experience, not from anything else. That will create a very positive attitude. When you enter the room, people should feel good, not cold. Right? That is your test. So next, be passionate. Right? All the successful people you know in any field are very passionate about what they want to do. This is why it is important for you to know what you want. Can you be passionate about something you don't know about? You can't be passionate about it, right? You have to be passionate about something. Rahul Dravid wants to play cricket. I'm passionate about cricket. Lata Mangeshkar wants to sing. I'm passionate about singing. Amitabh Bachchan about acting. Somebody else about winning a Nobel Prize. Somebody else about being a best professor. Anything. But you can't be passionate about something that you don't know or you are not committed to. And without passion, you cannot achieve success beyond a certain level. Why? This is our old concept, let me tell you that. How much of human brain do you think an average person uses? Any numbers?
2%. 2%.
10%?
2%.
Or 5%? 2%? 5%? Right? Less than 1%? So without going in individual numbers here, it says that Einstein used about 4% of his brain. So now you can figure out your own. Right? Why is it so difficult to use that brain? It's because a large part of your brain, and I don't have time to go into it, but just in a simple word, the large part of the brain is driven by emotion, not logic. Yet our training and our thought process is all be logical. So we cannot actually use that large part of the brain because we say logic and we give command based on logic and this part doesn't understand. So it is sitting, waiting, and the life passes on. And 95% of the brain you have not used. I am giving you benefit of doubt. Right? You probably not use 99% of the brain. So how do you communicate with this large part of the brain? Through emotion. What is that emotion? That is passion. When you are passionate about something, the signal from the logical side goes to the other side of the brain and says, this person really wants this. Rahul Dravid wants to be best in the world in playing cricket. When this message goes through emotion, this large part of the brain starts working. And this is what we call Aham Brahmasmi, which means you have become now one of Brahma and you are actually being held by universe. Every religion of the world says this, by the way. Universe is now going to help you achieve whatever you have said, but the logic cannot push this message, only emotion can. And then amazing things will happen in your own life. You wanted to meet Mr. Murthy, you walk in a flight and you will find that Mr. Murthy is sitting next to you. Because universe is now trying to help you. The problem is we never get this message to the other side of the brain that I want this. And I do not know any successful person across the world in any field who has been successful beyond a certain level without being passionate. And being passionate literally means walking, talking, sleeping, thinking. You are thinking about making that happen. When I did my first invention, I gave a goal to myself, just so that you know, I gave a goal to myself that at the age 40 I want to be financially independent. I was in US. No money, no way to do startup, green card was not done, etc., etc. So I said the only way I can make it happen is if I invent something, because that doesn't require any resource. So I said, fine, I will invent something. In the invention, I became so passionate about it that it was hard to sleep. I could not go to sleep because ideas will keep coming, and then at night some idea will come, even when you are asleep. And then I'm not going to sleep because of the fear that I'll forget this idea if I go to sleep. So I'm awake. Then my wife said, why don't you write down this idea and go to sleep so that next day you can work. But that is passion. Nothing else is important for you at that time then. And just the result was, within 1 year I had invented this instrument. How did that happen? Power of passion. How can passion happen? Only if you know what you want to achieve. Otherwise you cannot be passionate about just nothing. Understand, this is very important. Let's go next. Walk the extra mile. I have not met any successful person who has not worked his or her tail off. They work very, very hard. Working smart is bullshit. Working smart and hard will take you. There are a lot of smart people everywhere. And wherever you go to work, you will find they're very smart people. So how do you actually outdo them? Is by working hard. So my own children, my message is work 12 hours a day or something like that. This work-life balance and all that, there is stage in life when it is needed, but there is stage in life when it is completely not needed. And coming home and watching stupid television is not work-life balance. It's waste of time. So work hard. Walk the extra mile. People who do more than what is required of them, they are actually not even in your race. Rest of the 90% are here, crowded, promotion, this, that. These guys are actually running their own race. They are in different fields. Everyone will recognize them. Every manager will want to have them in their team. All that because they are competent and they are willing to work extra. Find your true potential. You will only find when you have worked very, very hard. Not a single invention has been done by me, all of my patents between 9 and 5. The game does not stop at 5. So work your days out. Have a role model. Now how do you do this? This is where it starts getting into the solution. So have a role model who can inspire you. I want to be like Mr. Murthy. I want to be like Rehlat, Premji, Rahul Dravid, Lata Mangeshkar, whoever inspires you, whatever you want to be, you have to have a role model. Everyone's role model cannot be Sachin Tendulkar because you don't play cricket. You admire Sachin Tendulkar. You admire someone that is different. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about who is your role model. Many people can't answer that question. There can be multiple role models, but there has to be some role model because that gives you direction that, hey, I want to become like that. Right? Now, you may not be able to reach this person. You are playing cricket and you want to meet Rahul Dravid, it's not going to be that simple. Read about them. Every successful person, there is enough book or enough material available on the web that at least you can read about it and then try to understand what is in their side. Intelligence-wise, let me tell you, they are about the same. Background-wise, they are probably also about the same. So what has taken them there, which is blocking you at early stage, is that difference. You can even copy them. You can even copy them. How many of you have seen the movie Gandhi? About young generation? Older people have all seen Gandhi, right? And admired it. My suggestion to the young generation is, इनको गांधी दिखाइए आप. Whether it's in campus or make them, or maybe let them see that and then let them have a competition, speaking competition on why Gandhi was great, who he was, right? So Ben Kingsley played the role of Gandhi in that movie. Ben Kingsley was not an Indian. So there was a lot of protest in India at that time that how can a non-Indian play the role of Gandhi? And when Ben Kingsley played that role and the movie came out, he shut everyone's mouth. It was just a phenomenal movie and a phenomenal role. Now, when Ben Kingsley got that role, he actually started living like Gandhi. Before he started acting, he actually lived in an ashram. He slept on the ground. Whatever Gandhi did, he started wearing dhoti. He became a vegetarian. He did all the things Gandhi did. And just by doing that, guess what? He started thinking like Gandhi. If you want to be like Mr. Murthy, just read about it. There are a lot of books available. Understand his side, behave like them, see the path he took. He didn't have any resource either, and that will help you achieve your goal and give you the role model. Indra Nooyi, the young generation will also know, she's just retiring as chairman of PepsiCo in the US. Her comment says it all. I'm a product of great mentors. We are all, I still have mentors, my children have mentors, multiple mentors we have, so it is very important for you to have mentors. Now for college students, for professional people, it is absolute must. If you don't have a role model and if you don't have a mentor, I don't know what to say about it. You are not even true to your profession. Let me tell you that. But for students, how do you get these mentors? Very hard, very hard. So, mentor doesn't have to be Sachin Tendulkar or Amitabh Bachchan. Mentor could be a professor who you admire, who did something that you like. Mentor could be your alma mater, somebody who graduated 2 years, 3 years from here, and you approach them and say, you know, I really want you to mentor me. Maybe they will like it. Most people will like it, but find a mentor and keep changing as you keep going up. Absolute necessary it is for you to have a mentor. जैसे गुरु हमारे यहाँ पहले कहते थे, when you are ready, the guru will arrive. The modern day guru is actually the mentor. College तो पीछे रह जाएगा, professors पीछे रह जाएंगे, but you will have to have a mentor and you will keep changing. So my children, for example, I am their mentor anyways, but they have multiple mentors. They can approach any of these people and discuss things like that. For experienced people, I tell you, experienced people say leadership is lonely. People say leadership is lonely. Bullshit. Leadership is lonely if you don't have a mentor. If you have a mentor, you can always go to that person and say, look, I'm dealing with this difficult problem, what is your view? Leadership is lonely because you haven't created a mentor. Attitude. Next. Okay. So now I have given you 7 things. I can go on and on. But just do these 7 things. What did I say? Let me summarize it for you. And then we will have question and answer. And I'll answer as many questions as you have, as long as Patnagar Saab permits me. Right? So, number 1, have a goal. Your short-term goal is to get a job. I understand your short-term goal is to get the best marks possible. Nothing wrong with that. Long-term goal. Who do you want to be like? What do you want to do? Does Vinny Bansal excite you? Vijay Shekhar Sharma excite you? Who is that? Or just a simple professional excite you? Or a professor excite you? What is that you want to achieve? Unless you give that signal to your brain is just waiting. Ask someone to say, can you please pass me? And then stop. How long that thing will wait? After some time, they will move on. Your brain is waiting. Give it the signal that you want. And then work your tails off. Work very, very hard. Have a role model because that gives you a sort of map of where you are going. That will help you. And then, like I said, read. And I'm not talking about your academic reading. वो तो करना ही है आपको. You have to read the books that I was talking about. Whether it is, you can read about, which is the first book. Many times people have asked me, which is the first book that I should read. Anybody you admire, pick their book. Because at least you are interested in them. And then slowly you will start getting into the habit of knowing how somebody did what. And how difficult it is to look for a book these days? 2 minutes. Our generation went to library, this, that, book है, नहीं है. अभी आपको कितना देर लगती है book ढूंढने में? 3 minutes में you will have the book ordered shipped. No need to look for library, no need to. So do that. Read, read, read. So if you do these things, let me tell you, you will get to whatever you want to achieve. Whatever you want to achieve. There is no limitation except you yourself. Many people say that, many young people don't believe it, but it is actually true. You could achieve whatever you put your mind and follow these 7 steps. Right? So with that, let me first of all thank you for your time. I appreciate your time. I enjoyed talking to you. And in the other hall as well, guys, enjoyed talking to you. I'll be happy to take some questions, but thank you again for your time. That's not working.
Thank you for your suggestions, sir. Now the time for questions. Few of our students want to ask you a few questions. One is Mr. Singh from 3rd year. He wants to know the difference between attitude and overconfidence.
So the question is, for those people who could not listen, the difference between attitude and overconfidence. So attitude is also good, confidence is also good, overconfidence is not good. Because obviously you are saying or doing something that you don't have a clue, and you are saying or posing to people that you can actually make that happen. I said honesty, integrity. If you have that, you will say, look guys, this up to this I know, this I will figure it out, I will give it my best shot, but I do not know how to do that. Right? I have always in my work culture had, and I had global teams managed from India. Number 1 rule was bad news first. If you can't do something, tell me. What is the big deal about it? Nobody knows everything, nobody is perfect. So honesty, integrity will solve that problem for you. If you are true to yourself, then you will be true to your team, you will be true to your country, you will be true to your management. Just say that this is how much I know, and this I do not know, I try to figure it out, I might need help. And the moment people say that I need help, I am there to help. Whether 40,000 people work for me or whatever, somebody in the team will be able to figure out. But you have to be honest. If you are posing that, no, I have everything in control, no problem, it will be done, and then you don't do it. First time I probably let you go. Second time, in my dictionary, probably a serious warning, and third time you go. I have hired more people than probably many of the people have hired in their life. Right? Yes.
Another question is, what was the invention which you invented in your graduation or during your graduation?
Yeah, the instrument that I told you about. See, that instrument you are not going to invent. So that story is not important for you, and what I invented is not important to you. You can Google it, and it's all there. All my talks actually are on Google. Go and see them. Everything is public. The story is important. The story that a person like you would believe that I could actually invent something in America which is not invented there, and then have the courage or sort of perseverance to make it, to get it licensed by a US company, and then financial rewards come. Financial reward, let me tell you, any successful person that I know hasn't really chased financial rewards. Financial rewards are after effect, and it will come in more many times than you care, if you care about what you want to achieve and how you want to add value. Your focus should be adding value to everything that you touch, whether it is your family, whether it is your company, whether it is country. If you are not adding value, you are a negative contributor to the world. The world will make sure you don't go too far.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your sagacious thoughts. To honor the guest, may I humbly request a respectful
question here we can ask just 1 or 2 people.
Any further questions anyone would like to put?
I'm always very excited to interact with them because I get to read their mind. If they have questions, I don't want to force that either. Anyone has a question here? Yes.
So how about the industry pointers, like how marks are necessary?
Okay, I'll repeat the question because you obviously correct me if I'm wrong. You said how much marks are necessary.
Yes, sir.
Marks means in your academic career, right?
Yes, sir. Does marks play important?
Yeah, I got that. So that is the question, and the answer is it is a very important part. Because I consider academic exercise as a task given to you. How well you do it, you will do the same thing in any other task. So it is not important that you got so many marks in computer science course 1. That is not important to me. But I always interview people and say, are you in top 10 in your class? Are you running a different race? Is what we are trying to get. Now, if you are in that top 10, wonderful, congratulations. If you are not in the top 10, let me tell you, the world is not over. Anytime in your life, you can actually start working hard. You can focus on the skills and overcome any difficulty that you have. But the initiative has to be with you. Nobody else. The problem with the other 90 is there is generally lack of initiative. I don't want that. I want people who have high level of initiative. So marks in themselves are not important, but they are indicative of your ability to work hard, your ability to problem solve, your ability to take the task seriously and then deliver. That is important. So I am not reading the mark itself, I am reading what is this like. And I always ask, are you in top 10 in your class? But again, I want to make sure the other 90 don't give up. But develop this habit. Work hard. Try to do the best you can and do all the things I talked about. I don't want to repeat. Even the rest 90 can make it happen. And I know enough people who didn't do academically well, but have done very well in their life. So don't look hard, but change your habits. That the habits you currently have will not take you too far. Anything else?
We have questions from another auditorium as well.
Okay, I would want to do that. First, before you guys have seen it, they have it. Yes, how do I see? Where do I see? Okay, here you have. Here, okay.
Okay, the question is, as you said, do not complain or don't make excuses. Sir, how should I overcome this problem? Because it is the thing which I always repeat.
So the question is that how, not complaining, not making excuses. Let me give you an example of Gandhi. Gandhi's objective was what? Independent India. Gandhi's resource was 350 million hungry people. Result? Delivered. Could he have had excuses? Michael Dell started Dell from his dorm, hostel room. Did he have money? No. Did he know how to succeed and all that? No. He just started doing something he believes in. Dell is today $100 billion. Steve Jobs, if you haven't read his book, go and read it. What did he have? Academically failed, not because he was academically poor, but because he didn't want his adopted parents to pay money to Stanford, which was too expensive, so he walked out of Stanford. What did he have? Nothing. So there are all these people, and I'm giving them, I can tell you examples in India itself, right? Again, Narayan Murthy, everyone knows, so that's why I give that example. What did he have? Many of the cricket players, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, what did he have? Family of cricketers. Where is Sunil Gavaskar's son? So all excuses are useless. Focus, go after it, use the 7 things that I talked about. You can achieve anything that you want.
We have one more question.
Yeah.
How to choose role model?
Yeah, that is very good question. The question is how to choose a role model. That is something that, so you have to differentiate between 2 things, a role model and a person you admire. I admire Amitabh Bachchan, but I don't want to become an actor. Not want to, probably I won't even become an actor. So that's separate. But I think it's important who excites you. So I am an entrepreneur. I am excited by Steve Jobs in creativity. I am excited by Michael Dell in execution excellence. I am excited by John Chambers in his ability to sell. I am excited by David Packard and Rick Hewlett about the people-centric culture they build. So I admire these people, and I then say that this relates to me. I need to learn this from them because I need to learn this to get to where I want to go. So they become your role model. Something that your journey, anyone that can help you with that journey, not personally, but just adopting their ideas, can become a role model. And other people you can admire, there is no problem with that. So there's difference between them, and they can coexist. But if I admire, Rahul Dravid, I'm not going to play great cricket. It doesn't help me. But I can still learn some characteristics from him, which are important. So role models are, for you, for example, who is graduating, people who are interested in entrepreneurship. Your role model could be Sharma, Paytm, Flipkart. There are $20 billion companies created in India in the last 10-15 years. If you are an entrepreneur, that would be very exciting for you. And it doesn't even have to be public. If you want to be the best professor in the world and you want to follow that path, I can tell you how to get there. There are people who have won Nobel Prize. How have they won? What have they done? People who have learned, you want to be in literature, there are literature people from India who have done very well. How can you not follow their path? Either by reading or knowing about them and then creating them role models. So there is little bit of difference. You will figure it out yourself once you know where you are going. The problem is you don't know where you are going, so you have a problem in selecting that role model. Once you know, you will be able to define the difference between the two. Yes?
We have received a few more questions. And the question is, sir,
I should respect the time. Okay.
So you have been at this company for a while. What keeps you motivated and how does this help you?
So the question is, this is from students?
Students, sir.
Guys, you work for 40 years, then ask me this question. If some senior person asked, I am happy to answer that question. But no, I have been very passionate about whatever task I took I gave to myself. Very, very passionate about it. After I retired from Cisco at the age 60, I gave myself 3 goals. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but one goal that I want to talk about is that I want to help create, not myself create, because I don't want to be operating anymore. But I want to help create 3 unicorns. Unicorns means billion-dollar companies. I want to create 3 billion-dollar companies in India in the next 10 years with the health permits. What does it mean to me? Not the money that comes with it. That is important, but not so important. It will add 1.25% to India's GDP, and it will add 50,000 jobs in India. That is my goal. That is just one goal. I have 3, but I don't want to go in it. So if you are enjoying, you are passionate about whatever goal you put yourself to, it motivates by itself. You don't need external motivating factor for that. You are motivated yourself. See, I am always true to what I am doing. I didn't like that setup. I knew that I will not be doing justice to my time and many students. So what did it take to change it? 5 minutes? Worth it? That's what you have. Need to prove yourself. अभी क्या करें, वो ऐसे हो गया है, ये आए. Change and the country will change. Any other question?
The last question is how to make best use of mentors.
How to use make best use of mentors. First of all, you need to find a mentor. Right? I get so many tweets and this and that. It's not like I don't want to do it, but I just cannot. Right? So you have to find a mentor, and then with the mentor, what you do is you honestly share your goals. If you go to a mentor and mentor says, "So what do you want to achieve?" Well, I don't know. What you are good at? I don't know. What are your gaps? I don't know. You are not ready to find a mentor. What can mentor do? Mentor is not going to play for you. You have to play your game. But if you say that, sir, I want to be a professor, at IIM Bangalore or here, I can tell you precise systems that you need to take to get there. So any road is good enough if you don't know where you are going. You take a left or a right, I don't care. You say I am going somewhere. If you say I am going to Bhopal, I can help you. If you say I am going to Jabalpur, I am sure tens of people can. But if you say I am going somewhere, can you please help me? Doesn't work. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, sir, for your sagacious thoughts and answering the questions of the students. Thank you very much. To honor the guest, I would humbly request our respected chairman, sir, to please present a token of remembrance to Dr. Vivek Mansingh, sir. A huge round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Now we'll break for 10 minutes for refreshments and students kindly be seated. And we'll be back exactly after 10 minutes at 11:35. Students please be seated. After 2 minutes.
चालू कर दे लाइक
All the students are advised to interact with the various HR professionals. So today you are our guests in a way that you must enjoy and participate and have a dialogue with them. That's why you will take lunch and snacks with them. Faculty will go somewhere else.
नवीन का माइक
Students can also please move forward. You have to be here exactly after 10 minutes.
इसको स्टॉप कर इसको रिकॉर्डिंग मत करना इधर कुछ करना है उधर से
सर एक तो सुशील अग्रवाल जी सेकंड पे आने वाले थे, उनका हमने अभी करा दिया, ये अभी करा दिया तो दोबारा तो मेरे ख्याल से नहीं, तो फिर हमारे पास जो है विवेक मानसिंह जी का भी हमने करा दिया, गरिमा जी बच जाती है, सचिन कायस्थ और पीयूष 3 लोग बच जाते हैं। सेकंड सेशन
अभी इनमें सबका हो चुका है।
हाँ, इनमें विवेक जी का हो गया है,
मुकेश व्यास का हो गया।
हाँ मुकेश व्यास जी का हो गया है, इन सबका
हो गया।
हाँ
तो मुझे मात्र 3 चाहिए, तो मेरे पास
वैसे हम लोग 4 करने थे, अब उनको 3 कर रहे हैं।
3 कर दें।
सुशील अग्रवाल जी अब पहले ही आ गए
और वहाँ बचे 5 हमारे।
बस ये
सर आप लगाओ सर क्वेश्चन तो बहुत आ जाते हैं, क्वेश्चन तो बहुत आ गए,
बहुत आ रहे सर, छोड़ दिए मैंने। और इतना करोगे तो पहुँचोगे, पहले ही छुट्टी करा
ज़्यादा आ तो आपको
सर आपका फोन
किसी का आया था। अरे संदीप मिश्रा को बोल रहा है बार बार कर रहा है। वो एक्चुअली बोलेगा कि वो हुआ नहीं है। क्या नहीं हुआ?
आप लोग यही हो? मैं ये स्टॉप यहाँ रख जाऊँ? ध्यान रखोगे? गुम हो गई तो तुम्हारी खैर नहीं आगे।
इसके बाद किसका? इसके बाद किसका? मैडम मुकेश व्यास सर का वो आया ना, मैडम से पूछ लो।
मुकेश व्यास सर आ गए ना? वही गया ना नेक्स्ट। हाँ सर, यहाँ पे कोई ऑल द टाइम रहेगा ना अभी? क्या भी आई है? आप लोग यहीं पे सामान रखा हुआ है।
हेलो,
आप यहाँ हो, मैं ये स्टॉप रखूँगी ना रखूँ? वो हुई तो तुम्हारी खैर नहीं। देखो ये आगे का प्रोग्राम अभी
टी के बाद
अभी किसका वेलकम?
एक आ रहे हैं, मैं अभी
तो अभी कैसे वेलकम? अगले उसके लिए कैसे वेलकम?
अगले इसके लिए नहीं है, वो अभी रुकेंगे क्या वाले
पूछवा दो यार, ऐसे कुछ में कैसे करेंगे? अभी सक्सेना सर से पूछो ना, मेरा मैडम खुद कितनी कंफ्यूज रहती है।
करेक्ट कहा आप।
ये मुकेश व्यास सर का दोनों आई नहीं रहा तो एलडीएमआई पे हो।
हाँ सर, प्रशांत सर।
हाँ यार, ये अभी समझ नहीं आ रहा, ये एकदम ब्लैक में यार। नहीं,
लाइट ऑफ होगी तो आएगा। लाइट ऑफ होगी तो आएगा ना। वो जब चलेगी ना तो ये लाइट सा ऑन थोड़ी रहेगी कि ऊपर पूरी 6-8 जल्दी। देखना प्रोजेक्टर की बटन दबी थी पिछली बार यार, प्रोजेक्टर का कुछ अलग से करवाना है ये, बस ऐसा है।
उधर नहीं दिखेगा ये,
दिख जाएगा।
सर का अभी देख लेता हूँ।
हमने कल इसीलिए चला था,
मोबाइल भी नहीं लाया,
इसलिए मैंने रुपये दे देता है।
यार मैं जरा है ना 2 मिनट शुगर का है।
अरे रहने नाइक रहने।
सुबह था फ्री हो
ये तो ऐसे ही होता है। मेरे साथ में लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं। ऐसा थोड़ी होता है कोई मतलब यार। क्यों दो क्यों? भैया भैया 2 लाने में क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
और मैंने लाया यार, पिताजी
थोड़ी होता है यार, जो भी लाया उसको 2 बोल देना था।
ड्राइव है अभी मेरे पास बहुत सारे।
कहाँ से लाए?
ये अन्नपूर्णा से।
इधर देखो
अन्नपूर्णा से।
क्या है ये सब निकल रहा है उधर लपक के।
क्यों?
सबसे बढ़िया मंत्री पे निकल रहा मंत्री।
अरे
मंत्री
क्यों? कोई काम की नहीं।
मंत्री की कोई वो बोली ना
अरेंजमेंट उधर का सीधे माइक से तो
उधर का अरेंजमेंट का बोला ना,
के दे रहे सीधे।
वो अरेंजमेंट उस तरीके से है नहीं।
2 दिन तक खाली कैमरा वाले काम आ गया बस।
नहीं वो कमजोर है।
RD2 का ही कैपिटल
सर तो वो पहले से समथिंग हमारी धड़कनें तेज हो गई कि
नहीं RD2 का नहीं कैपिटल।
अरे यार,
अरे अब ये मैं अच्छे से समझ
मैं तुम गलत समझ लिए तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ?
सर
इसमें तैर रहा है घाट
स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं लोग?
स्ट्रिप लगा के और ये पूरा ऐसा उसका रीजन है। जब नजदीक की चीज आप देखते हो ना,
आपकी आइज ऊपर नीचे होती है तो बड़ा सुधर सकता है।
श्वेता मैडम
आओ निपटो फटाफट।
आप चलो
तो यार हम भी कैसे घसको, अब नहीं कहेगा तो घसकूंगा ना। तो तुम घसको ना, मैं खड़ा हूँ।
अरे वो उधर के जो माइक्स मतलब जैसे ये चिल्ला रखा है, इसको चालू छोड़ रखा है ऐसे, ये पड़ा बस ये उसी की समस्या है। इधर की इधर आ रही ये समस्या थी सर।
तो वहाँ वो तो यार आज मालूम है इन टाइम को उधर के ऐसी धोखा दे गए।
आया
आगे तो क्या ऐसी धोखा दे गए।
हद हो गई यार,
परेशान हो गया सुबह से, मुकेश नहीं कर पाया।
अरे क्या कल उसे आया सर मैं।
हाँ मैं इधर
फिर अपन चले गए साथ।
हाँ वो जो बीच में कचकच जा रहा था वो ना, उधर लोगों ने माइक ऑन कर रखा था और इधर मोबाइल हाथ में रख रखा था, इसलिए तो वो आज उधर जाके ऑफ करवाया अपन। ऑफ करवाया,
गलती नहीं भी होगी अपनी तो भी लड़ाई करते हैं और फिर मुझे रिलाइज बाद में नहीं करना।
अरे दौड़ भाग मची थी उसके चक्कर में, इधर से इधर हो रहा था।
ये माइक ऑन है
तो मेरा पकड़ में कचरे हो गया, मेरे को लगा सर के जेब में मोबाइल है, मैंने मोबाइल मांगला, बोले मेरे पास मोबाइल नहीं हो, मैंने इधर चिल्लाया, मैंने तुम क्यों कच्चा करवा रहे हो यार मेरे।
जैमर लगाओ यहाँ पे, मैंने जैमर लगा दो रिलेटिव कहते हैं एक मोबाइल का नेटवर्क नहीं आएगा, कुछ भी करें लोग ऑपरेट भी करते तो भी वो फ्रिक्वेंसी दिक्कत करती है वैसे। अभी चलो एक था हमारे पास माइक कॉल, 2-4 ऐसे हम दे दें माइक कॉलर तो फिर तो बेचारे आपस में कर लेंगे।
वही तो
प्लांटर कहाँ है? प्लांटर यहाँ रखवा दो ना, प्लांटर अंदर शायद अंदर रख दी क्या? वो बड़ा वाला ये बैकग्राउंड कट रहा है, ये जो लगा हुआ दोनों साइड से बैकग्राउंड कट रहा है। पीपीटी का जो फर्स्ट वाला है ना वो चाहो तो आप उसको शो करके रख सकते हैं, दोनों साइड से।
2 मिनट आ जाए नाइक से भी
कुछ माइक
अभी हाल ही बाहर गए,
कुछ माइक वाला सिस्टम हो सकता है, जिन बच्चों ने अपना ब्रेकफास्ट कर लिया उनको दोबारा सेटल डाउन करा दें।
सर 1-2 मिनट वो आ जाए इलेक्ट्रिशियन, तो मैं उसको बोलता हूँ कि माइक दे देगा ऑन करके
वहाँ पे जिसमें बाहर आवाज़ जाएगी, वो वाला जो एरिया है उसमें कुछ
2 मिनट समय पूछ के पड़ी।
जिनका हो गया है तो अब सेटल डाउन करें।
पैसे नहीं दिए तो अपने को नहीं खाना है।
अपन तो क्या अपन तो सही सेट हो जाएगी, अपने को तो डांट नहीं खाना है।
यार आज तो अभी वो गिनते सर नीचे, मैंने बोला ना कि सर भड़क जाते हैं, अभी भड़के निकाल दिया, मतलब 2-4 लोगों के तो उतार दिए उन्होंने। आप थे क्या?
नहीं नहीं था।
अब किसका है यार? यार एक तो मैं प्रेजेंट वो जो आपने भेजा था ना उसका मैं प्रिंट आउट निकाल दिया, वो एक तो सूखता है ना, बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है उसके साथ। विवेक मानसिंह सर के साथ मुकेश व्यास सर का, फिर आशुतोष सर का, फिर राकेश सर का, उसके बाद लंच
वो जो सौरभ है ना, सौरभ दिल्ली वाला, वो आगे क्या कहते हैं, बोले माइक दे तो उनको बाहर अनाउंसमेंट करने की जितने नाश्ता करने वाले आए तो क्या पहले से बोल के रखा था कि बाहर को स्पीकर रखे,
वो अलग नहीं मान रहे हैं यार।
नहीं यहाँ पे
टाइम दिया हुआ
तो मैंने तो कुछ नहीं बोला, मैंने क्या बोला मालूम, सिर्फ साउंड वाले आ रहे 2 मिनट में, मेरे को समझते नहीं।
बहुत सही किया। क्या है कि फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम हो तो बात अलग है, क्या है कि विवेक उनका है ना सर,
मुकेश व्यास है विवेक। हाँ
मिस्टर राज खत्री।
एक मिनट
सर आप
नहीं पूरा दिख रहा है इसका।
मयंक सक्सेना जी को
हाँ वो करेंगे।
हाँ, कौन आ रहे हैं?
मिस्टर राज खत्री आ गए हैं, वेलकम देम।
राज खत्री कहाँ से है?
लॉयड फार्मासी।
नहीं, इसका डिजिग्नेशन क्या है? मिस्टर राज खत्री
एमडी
मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर
लॉयड्स फार्मास्यूटिकल, LLOID लॉयड फार्मा,
लॉयड फार्मास्यूटिकल्स। नहीं वो तो आप करवा देना वहाँ पे खाली, मेरे को प्लांटर बोलना अलाउड नहीं है, आप करा देना।
प्लांटर का हो गया मैडम, बात हो गई हिसाब से।
आप करा देना, मैं बोलूँगी नहीं प्लांटर, बोलूँगी वेलकम।
हाँ वेलकम,
तो आप वेलकम करा देना।
हाँ वेलकम, हाँ
आप
ठीक
जो
है।
मर्जी करा देना, जैसे
हाँ
मर्जी करा देना।
सर
बच्चे लाएंगे ना, बच्चे को बोलो ना।
अच्छा हो गया क्या? हाँ उनको पूछ लूँ क्यों ना, उनको पूछ लूँ क्या आप अभी आप बुलाएंगे ही ना मैडम, कंटिन्यू।
हाँ हाँ, पहले एक का वेलकम कराना है, एक का वेलकम करवा दो और बाकी Good morning, sir.
Ma'am, what's your name?
I'm Shweta, sir.
Felt too good, like Shweta, Scott, doing a great job.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
मैडम
क्या काम कर रहा है?
तो सर अभी यही करना है क्या मुझे?
सुशील अग्रवाल का A1 वर्ल्ड क्लास नहीं इनका नहीं हुआ ये स्ट्रीमिंग मैंने रोकी नहीं
स्टॉप कर दी थी बीच में पर फिर चालू कर दो
इनका
स्टॉप करके दो तीन सेशन में जाएगा ऐसा नहीं होगा मतलब दो तीन क्लिप उसकी वो नहीं स्टॉप करेंगे अच्छा है ना।